stream started. Hello. Bonsoir, ça va? Hello.
Hello. I forgot to fix my mic. Okay. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. So, I was editing one of my streams, and I noticed maybe I'm like approaching the problem of editing. Hello, Ricardo. I think I'm approaching the editing wrong. Yeah. Yes. And I have not watched the Digital Circus. I have been focused on editing. Yeah. Indeed. Also, I bought a frappuccino. Yeah, I have it right here. It's going to fucking melt before I even finish. Yes. So, I was editing stuff, and I realized the way I'm editing stuff is very not good enough. As in, I'm editing trying to preserve the structural integrity of the stream. And even though my editing managed to like cut the stream down to like half size, it's still an hour and a half long. So that's a bit of an issue. And then I realized maybe I'm thinking wrong about how I should edit this. Maybe I should like focus exclusively on like highlights, right? I was focusing too much on like keeping the flow of the video being like coherent, as in you understand what's happening and where you are in the game, right? I was like worrying about like showing, okay, then I went up the stairs, right? So I show my character going up the stairs and then cut to like another point in the video, and then you're sleepy? Okay, good night, Alex. And then I'm like, okay, I wanna show this painting I was like referencing, right? Talking about. And I'm going to cut this because I'm not saying anything and I'm just looking around. And okay, this scene doesn't make sense unless I show you me entering this door in particular. So I need to show you the door, then the next scene, right? And I was doing that, and I realized I like, even though it kept like the integrity of the flow, it was kinda not worth it because I didn't quite like manage to make the stream significantly smaller. Yeah, The thing is if I focus on highlights, I will end up with a video that is like 3 minutes long, 5 minutes long, maximum, right? And it will like not make like coherent sense, right? So at that point, I might just like grab each like clip and actually make it like a short or something, right? Hmm. But that means, well, it would. I'm like conflicted. Should I make like a cut where it's me just showing the story of the game and my experience on it, and have something that is just the most like entertaining clips? Because that means I will have like an hour 20 videos per stream. Hello, Cami. Hello. Welcome.
Burger.
Hello. So I will end up with videos that are like an hour 20, right? And if I'm going to have like a video this an hour 20, I might as well just narrate, right? Oh, you're leaving now, Cami? Okay, thank you for coming. Safe travels, don't die. Good luck. May the force be with you. In March. So should I just make like a proper video? I feel like it will make more sense. But then again, that means this is like extra work, right? And that it will also mean that the like 6 hours that I have wasted editing stuff will have been for basically nothing, because I will have looked to basically throw that away. Yeah. 6 hours to cut a video of 3.5 hours into 1.5 hours. Right? That would be kind of painful. Yeah. 1 second. I wanna eat my frappuccino. Ice. You have no idea what would be the best choice here? So, the reason I'm like conflicted, right, is that having a video that is an hour and 30 minutes, that is just me cutting down footage and with a few like memes thrown in and like no like a voiceover, feels too like low quality and too long to be like what to call it? To be successful, right? It will feel like people will like watch like the first 30 seconds and click away, right? I would click away, right? But if I like focus only on the funny parts, if I focus on like the extremely hyper rare occasions where I'm funny, then I will have like 3 like less than 30 seconds long clips of me doing random stuff. And that's it. And that would be like all I get from like a 3-hour, 30 minutes stream. Right? You see, in one hand, I have like a whole lot of non-usable nonsense. But if I focus in what I can use and is short, I end up discarding pretty much everything. Right? And I was doing some research, right? I was like, okay, what do people usually stick with when it comes to the length of the video when you are doing highlights, right? And then I discovered that that number is 20 minutes max. That's like hitting the upper limit, right? And I'm like, you are telling me I need to
interrupt or stay silent? The great debate.
Do I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was saying. Finally, just a choice on your own, but personally, if I was a user, I will pick to discard everything else and get the highlights. That would be like what is guaranteed to actually produce something entertaining. Yeah. Because collapsing like a 3-hour bot into 20 minutes would need like some like serious like butchering. Yeah. As the video's context, the original stream, the bot, is me playing a game, right? But my streams are always 3.5 hours long, right? And I was doing some market research, and it seems most people keep the highlights to 20 minutes, right? So collapsing a 3-hour stream into 20 minutes is basically impossible for me without like discarding most of the stream, right? And then it wouldn't be that interesting, right? Because I'm not that interesting. But if I focus on the only moments where I'm like rarely funny, I will end up like with less than 3 minutes of content, like 3 clips of like the rare occasions where I'm kind of funny. When I'm kind of funny. Yeah. Well, if you focus on the game, maybe you could start boycotting the part before the game starts? I did! And I still got a 1 hour and a half video. I actually caught this whole part where I'm just talking without the game, without a gameplay being behind me or something. I cut that out completely. Like, I didn't even grab any bits from that, right? And I still end up with a nonsensical amount of footage. Yeah. Being critical of your own stuff is difficult? Yes. You know? Highlights don't have to be only funny moments. Yes! The problem is that I'm not that interesting. Then again, you see, here is the other problem. Remember what we were talking the other day? When I'm like, kinda not impressed? Easily impressed by something? Right? By stuff? That also applies to this, right? So maybe my body is very high, and that's why I go through my whole bot and I'm like, 99% of this is nonsense. Maybe that's the issue, right? Maybe there is like stuff that is actually funny in there. And it's just me having to like high of a bar. That could be it. But it's not like I can like somehow remove that bar or something or lower it, because I'm not doing it like willingly. It's unconscious. Yeah. Yes. You know, there is one way I can make this work, but it will mean me putting significantly more effort into the video. Hello, they said. Hello.
E.
Welcome, welcome. I will take more effort in doing. Have you guys ever seen those videos that is like a non-gamer plays Dark Souls? Here is my experience. And it's them like narrating how like they got their ass kicked like 1,000 times over and left crying, only to come back later and eventually beat the game. Had you ever watched those? With the background being the gameplay? Yeah. I also have seen some that are like, I made my mom play this game. I made my girlfriend play this game. Me raging could be highlights, yes. That could be one way of me showing the whole bot. And that would make for long, like, term content. And I will have to tap into my days of being like a professor at a university. Yeah. When I'm actually giving lectures. But instead of giving lectures, I'm like showing off the game. That could work, actually. This is barrage or a single purling ground of your prestation. A lot of people appreciate games being online by people who are not pros at them. That's the issue. I'm kind of like the opposite of a noob. Yeah. The only people who would be like more hardcore than me would be like actual like ranked, like world rank playing esports or something. Yeah. Like, I'm not like a professional, right? But I'm really fucking hardcore when it comes to games. Yeah. Girl, if you look at Noita, what about Noita? I think the only thing that Noita shows is that I'm very prone to self-destruct because I like theatrics. I like flashy spells. Yeah. That footage of you completely destroying a boss and then footage of you dying to a stationary stage hazard immediately? Yeah, that would happen. You see, Noita, I always play it very, like, casually. If I was to actually try to beat Noita, I think I would go to the deepest parts quite easily if I get like a good roll with the spells. Yeah, because I tend to like build stuff that is very self-destructive, right? But I'm pretty sure I could make something like brutally effective if I actually tried. That game is way bigger than you imagine. Well, I was playing very casually because if you want me like actually trying to beat that game, like legit focusing in beating the game, it would be kind of boring because you will see me sitting there like in the spell area, like thinking and doing math and like being silent for 30 minutes and then selecting the hyper like optimized selection of spells before I go out, and all my spells would be like one shot. Yeah. That's what is going to happen. And I don't know if that would be like entertaining. I think it's more funny if I try to like beat the game with a one that can actually kill me. Yeah. Hmm. So if I try hard in the game, it would be. I feel it would be boring, but I can do it if you guys can tolerate it. Yeah. I just don't want to see like that concurrent view count to be 0 by the end of the stream. Anyway, shall we start with the game development? Blah, 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 blah. Try it for one stream? Yeah, we can do it. Indeed. Why did that thing
Stream
froze?
started. Hello, bonsoir, ça va? Hello, burger.
Burger.
Do I interrupt or stay silent? The great debate. E.
If you try enough, you can keep the mess from dunking you out. I think it would be a challenge for your attention span. Yeah. Let's see. Map. We were working on the temple sacrifice. I feel like if I actually tried, I could create some nasty spells in Noita. Okay, so last time we were here, right? Just to make it clear, these are walls right here, these are stairs. We have some chests, these are barricades. That's a door right there. There is supposed to be another wall right there. This is another wall. We don't know what's on these rooms, but we know there is going to be rooms there. The keys here are meant to open these doors. Yeah? Yes. Let's refine this. We also are missing the B2. This area is mostly not created. What's the item for this dungeon? For this dungeon is the magnet. Yeah. You can push and push with the magnet. Indeed. Pull and push, yes. Let's see. I want to modify this so we can make this a barricade also. So let me fix this. Let's see, I want to use this. I will just grab that bit right there, copy. And paste. Just to make the barricades here. By the way, I need more dungeon items. I'm missing a few. So if you have like any ideas of dungeon items that don't overlap with what we have, I will really thank you if you think on something. How often do potions drop from items or how easily they are obtained? Healing items currently are just hard drops, right? And they drop according on how much health you have. The less health you have, the more likely they are to drop. It's a priority system. Also, that system bases the drop chance based on all the items you have, right? So if you have like no bombs and low health, it will prioritize dropping bombs until you have more bombs than health. Then it will switch to hearts. That's the way it works. What am I doing? Hold on. Do the missing items need to be usable for puzzles? Yes, they should. They should have a double use, basically. They should be both used for combat or movement and for puzzles. Indeed. Okay, let me set this. Down. There we go. So that's the current... Wait, I think I fucked up. Yes, I fucked up. Lovely. Hold on. Wow, I really fucked up. Hold on. Okay, this group right here needs to be somewhere else. Actually, let's just kill that. I might have an idea regarding functionality, but I don't know if it could break some of your puzzles. I don't mind that. Actually, I actually don't mind that. If there is like something that allows you to skip some of my puzzles or something, if the player is smart enough to notice, I will allow it. I'm not like bothered by the player discovering ways to bypass the barriers I place. Basically, you want to implement the Parore's Wind from Ocarina of Time, or the marker from the Dream Nail in Hollow Knight. Yeah, I know that mechanic. Indeed. I don't mind that. It could break some puzzles, yes. But it also depends how you obtain it, right? Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah. Do you think it could make for an item, or does it lack something? You had an idea to make it better? What would that be? I think it's a good item, right? I like it, but I feel like it's missing uses. Oh, that's a better idea. I like that more. Yes. That's a very nice idea, actually. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. What? Why is this not letting me select the visibility of stuff? Hello?
D7.
Hmm. Okay. So we have the block by blocks here. You come in here, get the item, exit through here, up in this area, go down here. Then we proceed to big one. Down here, the path is supposed to be like this. To get up there, we have one key connected to that. How to make this make more sense? I like your idea of the swapping mechanic. Yes. The boss key is right there. We enter here, go down here. You would just design levels and some player won't have it? Or is it well then go back and plug holes after some test? Yeah, I suppose that's one way of designing it. Yes. That would be a test heavy thing, indeed. Okay. Let me grab this. and make the structure here first. Actually, hold on.
Good morning.
Hello. Hello, stream. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Hello. How are you doing today? Let's see. We're going to have a bunch of robots here. So that one, like fluorescent, is a really nice idea. And I can see how to use it on puzzles. Yeah. Any other idea you might have? What would the item itself be? I don't know. It could be just a brand or like maybe an object you leave behind, and a second one you teleport to. Just teleport, right? You have like a marker, a physical marker, and another object to switch with. That could be it. Yeah. I remember there was an item like that somewhere. I remember, I don't know if I saw it in a game or in an anime. Yeah. Huh. Kelly's dagger of escape. Press once to place marker, press again to call the marker back. Hold OTP. I would prefer if it was more press once to put the marker down, and the only way to like retrieve the marker is to OTP. Because having it be like press it again, it makes it very prone to mistakes, right? Imagine you put the marker in the surface and then you go to the deepest part of a dungeon, trying to do something, and then by accident you click it instead of holding it down, and now you have to go all the way back up to place it again, and then go all the way back down to TP. So just from the feature structure, it's better if it's pick up when you teleport. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how this place is going to look. What if the masker is in a different map? You will just teleport to that spot. Yeah. Yeah, it's something that we'll need to figure out. Indeed. But it is indeed a nice, like, item. It can be used to fast travel. That way I don't have to need to, like, implement fast travel.
If only she's a good developer like Verthandy.
Wow. Wow. I'd rather not be compared to her. Wow. At least you're not being compared to Yandere Dev. That's true. That's indeed true. But the face guy. The face guy was also quite the person. Legend says he's still developing his name, his game. Okay. He's progressing, he's progressing. Slowly but surely he's progressing. I was like, where did that thing go? You remember the 5K Politude burst that crashes the game? You know what the worst part is? I had met some developers that are like that. I met this girl that was a 3D modeler that would make that kind of things. Models that were like nonsensically detailed with like thousands and thousands of like polygons and triangles. And then she would be upset when we had to tell her, hey, we need you to lower that because the game won't like wrong with that thing. And she was offended. I met her at a game jam. Yeah. A long time ago. Lucky for me, she was not in the team for long. Yeah. Not incompetence, she's just not being realistic. That's true. But yeah, I have made developers like that. Sadly. Some people don't seem to care about optimization, like rendering things outside of the bounds. Yeah.
It gets no heat.
That do tends to happen, indeed. Let's delete this. Oh, wait. First I need to fix this. Okay, that kinda looks okay. Not getting is not the same as incompetence. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Suddenly, everyone wants to make noise. That looks okay. Let's see, let me count.
Is it truly okay though?
What's okay?
Cast doubt into your mind so you'll meander on this process longer.
We go through here, there is one key right there, and we'll get one more right there. We go downstairs to open this one. We can fight the mid boss here, there is no path through there. We go back up here. Open the item, we exit through here. We can get the map or open through here. It is another battle without sense down here. Then we go through here, down here, that way. We grab a key that opens that. That key there, we can get the boss key over there. One key right here, that is for that. Do I have one key? One extra key? That is for that. From here we can go down. Right there. A key there, a key there. A key there. Okay. You mean my emblem, the one on my chest? Yes. That is the family crest. Indeed. It's also on my channel icon. Yeah. Yes. Indeed. Perception 100. Hold on. Let me check something. Did you notice this? Let me open the game. Okay. Did you perhaps not notice? Where is it? Drops right here. This, the coin, is actually my crest. Right? Also, where is it? It looks like that because it's very little, like, details. But it was supposed to be my crest. Also right here. You see that? So he's everywhere, actually. I tried to make the coin be my crest, yes. But I ran into the issue that the coin was too small to actually hold that kind of detail. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Just so we can have a cleaner map. About an item that makes a loud sound. It could make an image stream for a second. I come sleeping at pieces or trigger puzzle elements. That will require me to implement a bunch of extra stuff. The freezing, the waking up, and the trigger elements. I'm trying to imagine it. It's not that it doesn't work, it's that it is overlapping with other items. For example, you say an item that makes a loud sound that can freeze enemies for a moment and wake up sleeping NPCs or trigger puzzle elements. Is that not just a bomb with a stun? Because I can see how could you like pack it differently, right? Like an AOE bell, for example, or I could use it like the Quake medallion from A Link to the Past, where you like stab the sword into the ground and makes the whole screen quake and damages all enemies on the screen. Or I can see it like a summon, like a Final Fantasy summon from Shiva, for example. Like, I can see a bunch of ways to like implement it, right? I just don't know if it like provides any like good mechanics. Like, if you think about it, it will be basically an object that stops the action, right? You were just thinking of a bell. Yeah, I can like imagine a bunch of versions of the same like mechanic. I could make it like a football team, like soccer team, and like make it a red card or a yellow card, and you just like ring a whistle and like lift up the card into the air, and everybody freezes for a moment, right? That's another way of implementing that. Or we could go like full on like Devil May Cry and implement the Virgil slash, where like we dim the screen, everyone freezes, then we see like 1,000 lashes covering the whole screen and like shattering into glass as like all the enemies are wiped from the screen and all triggers trigger. It would be the exact same mechanic, yeah. Or I could go like full like 90s RPG, where you like press a button, your character like lifts his little hands, to the hands into the air, right? And then you see like the camera pan into the sky, goes like out of the planet, past the moon, past the planets, and in the far distance of the solar system, you see this gigantic robot like charge a laser and slowly like build up as the music runs up, and then shoot through the whole like line of planets back into the earth, destroying the moon, hitting the exact spot where you are with the enemies, and like causing this massive explosion. Then you cut back into the area where you were, and you see all the enemies talk like 1 damage. Yeah. These get levels of overkill? Yeah, pretty much. Like, I can implement it. It would be extremely silly. Nonsensically silly. But it's more about if it actually fits. You need a new mouse? Good luck, because I found it surprisingly difficult to find a good mouse. Yeah. Then I could go the exact opposite, right? Instead of going grand scale and everything, I can have you like simply suddenly pull out like one out of like bells you see in hotel receptions that you hit to like call the attendant to come to you. The little ding, right? And you just do that, like, ding, and all the enemies like just have an exclamation mark about them, and they just freeze like, what the hell was that? For a moment. It could be that simple, also. They will look like you are calling a butler or something. Yeah. That's another option. The question is, what would you prefer? It's just a suggestion? I know, but it's fun. Come on, having like an idea song about like items. Yeah. What would you? Black. Don't try to speak while you're drinking coffee. What would you like enjoy, right? What item have you seen in a game that you have thought that would be cool if it was on a Zelda game? Right? What have you thought? Hey, if I had that game, if I had that item on this other game, I would have won. I would have like enjoyed more the game. I think this is okay now. I think. Now we just need to like select the enemies. Maybe a projectile that keeps walking along the walls? I'm not looking for something with a specific functionality, no. I'm just looking for something that I don't have in this game that could be like used for puzzle solving, mobility, or combat. If it works on all three, the better. And it cannot be something that could be like a function of an item that I already have. Or maybe yes, because usually the bow and the boomerang basically are the same in most of the games. You usually ignore the bow or the boomerang and eventually stop using the boomerang in favor of the hook shot. I have noticed that. Yeah. A saw that follows along. Well, I can do that. Yeah. That actually sounds like it could work as a puzzle solving tool. Yeah. That sounds feasible. He could hit multiple teams and make a lot of damage. Yeah, I can imagine it. I like the idea. Yes. A belt that shifts the world to a darker version of the world, like Silent Hills of the World? You are asking me to make the game twice, basically. If you want me to release the game by 2063, then that would be something to do. Okay, B2 is clean now. Big one, not quite there. Okay. I can make here some things just to make it more sense. Use a shader to make the colors darker? You see, that would not work because we have the night and day cycle, right? It's not enabled in the game currently, but it is still there. Yeah. You were joking? You see, the issue with you joking is that you don't understand that I will actually try to implement it. Why? Because I think that's funny. Isn't that really interesting that I am like, hey, I don't want to increase the scope of this game. And then I'm like, I'm going to implement this because it amuses me. And it's creating like several weeks of work extra for me. So vlogging players is funny too, but you avoid it. You see, you are saying that, but I'm going to like include the Farore's Wind item, right? And while I will try to like prevent moments where you can get stuck, I cannot guarantee that there won't be there. Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty sure there is several ways to soft-lock yourself already in the game. I just have not noticed them. Especially because nobody's playing the game. Probably because I have not released a new version in ages. I should release a new version. Indeed. For a moment. Okay. One of those vehicles, cars that have like their music like to 11. A gambling item. One that has a 50% chance of like defeating an enemy on screen and insta killing the player. I'm trying to imagine it. You see, insta-killing the player I don't think would be a good idea. It would be funny, and I'm pretty sure some people like would enjoy that, right? But I would prefer if it was 50-50, right? But instead of killing you, it had a 50% chance of turning the enemies into like something more dangerous. Like either you kill them or they evolve into something more difficult to kill. Allows for more skill base. Yeah. But that would also mean I would need like implement harder versions of the enemies, which I'm willing to do, funny enough. Let me write it down, actually. So, the ideas we had so far. We have a... Let me show this, actually. We have a... The valores print item, right? That's one. Very self-explanatory. The item that freezes enemies on screen, wakes sleeping enemies. What else was that also? Oh yeah, can swap an object with the player if placed on the marker. What else did he do? What was it? Let me check. Trigger puzzle enemies. Okay. And trigger puzzle elements. Okay. Then we have the saw that crawls along walls. That's another. Item that 50-50 kills all enemies on screen or makes them or mutates into harder versions.
You feature creep.
It's not really feature creep because we're missing some items. What else? The can blame item is a joke. So the blame is all on me if it goes wrong. There was the item that sends you to the dark world.
A secret forge area that lets you combine all of your tools into an Infinity One sword.
A secret forge area that lets you combine your tools into an Infinity One sword. I will actually implement that if it wasn't for one big issue. According to the lore, I don't get to keep these items. It doesn't like a debuff in it. So even if I make that infinity plus one item, I don't get to keep it in the lore, so... But all the items we create here are going to exist on all my games. In some way or another. Yeah. So if there is an item you wish you had on RPG, on some RPG or something, you could throw it in. Yeah. A painting so ugly that makes anything you pointed towards back away. Potion of obesity. I actually like the idea. I don't know how you implement it in this game, but yeah, it will work on a different game. And the potion of obesity, what would be the effects? Just makes you fat? You see, I would include that one. If it wasn't for the issue that it will mean I will have to make several, you will double the amount of sprites in the game. Literally a banana, you eat it, regain a bit of health, and sets a banana peel on the ground for enemies to sleep on. Banana and banana. Okay, we have a bunch of nonsensical items. Plus, their functions are usually universal, so people will just know. Any other items you guys can think of? The banana peel will be very Mario Kart. Indeed. A doll you place down to attract aggro. That's also a really nice item. Yeah. A job application you place down to scare enemies away. I don't think that would be the only thing it will scare. It will also not make sense within the lore of the game. A trap you can set to trigger remotely. You will have to specify the kind of trap, because remote trigger trap is a category, not an item. Yeah. Anyways, keep thinking. Meanwhile, I will place some goblins around. So we said we had this, right? That is for the dungeons. So we're going to have goblins, right? How do I, like, draw them? Like that? Are goblins in your lore inclines wise? I will say they are very dumb. a child would like outplay them. They are dangerous in groups, right? But beyond that, they are not really particularly dangerous. The default goblins, that is. So this would be a goblin, right? We need to make a 5 enemies. So we have the goblin default. Not Goblin Slayer goblins. Yeah, not Goblin Slayer goblins. Those will be pretty dangerous, not gonna lie. So we're going to have 5 different categories of goblins. By default. Can they make and use tools? They can make rudimentary like tools, like at most like stone tools. So how about we keep 10 different hats? Okay, we can have like how about we have like the Club Goblin, right? Then we have the Stone Goblin that just throws rocks. Then we have the Sword Goblin. Should we have someone that is like a spear? What else will be nice? As Wooden Shield? One? What do you think? Is that a good, like, set? Okay. Then let me select this guy. Let's see. Actually, let me do something before I do that. Okay. I want to do something. What's the difference between club and sword combis behavior-wise? None. The only difference is that one is attacking you with a club and the other with a sword. The sword cuts. That's the only difference. And he's using the sword like a club. He's not like actually like doing something interesting with it. He's just using it as a club. I'm going to try to do something. Trying to like make the combat scale. Right. So that's for those. Let me just now have this. Silver. That goes up to 9 then. Okay. Okay, this right here is 10. I'm just trying to like mark how deep you are in the number of rooms. Okay, so these are like that. By the way, if you are able to answer without giving spoilers, what comes to the items obtained on the valley after the game ends? They are confiscated because of what happens on the valley. The kingdom's army gets involved. And when they are unable to reach the valley before I complete the final dungeon, they get really fucking scared and the royal guard gets involved. But by the time I finished the dungeon, they barely were like able to get close to the valley. And because of the incident, they started searching the valley and what happened there. So they like confiscate the items. All access to the valley is revoked. And it becomes a bit of a scandal. Yeah. Imagine that someone like basically opened a dungeon that was filled to the brim with the most dangerous monsters you can think of. And they just spill out like an overflow, a marabunta of monsters. Yeah. And the army gets called because of it. So they take the items to like do research. Yeah, that's what happens. So I lose all the items but one. So basically, they let me pick an item that I will keep. Yeah. But aside from that, all the items are like handed over. Especially the royal family gets scared as fuck.
A false goddess, crafted from illusion and divine mimicry, was elevated to take her place. With the world's anchor gone, reality began to drift. Few noticed, fewer remembered.
You can see me doing that, open a monster filled with monster. Yes, it happens. Mind you, it's even more of a drama because my family is the only noble family that has like exclusive access to so many dungeons. Also, the valley is a bit of a mystery because nobody is allowed into the Valley of the Trial. So nobody has actually like analyzed or like checked the ruins. And it's like an anomaly this valley because there is not supposed to be so many dungeons so close together. That's already really fucking weird. Yeah. Okay, so this point is 16. Okay. So we are on 16. You might be thinking, what are you doing? I'm trying to like mathematically put some balance in here, which I might or might not choose to ignore, even after I did this work. I might just not even use this. Okay, we set, let me set this in stone first. Okay. So over here, this key goes to that, right? That key goes to this, and this key goes to that. Okay. Just to make sure. That means this right here would be at least 31 from C. Okay. Just to know. Okay, the underground is done. We start on 33 over here. So 33. The ball is not being very well guarded during the time the game, if your memory doesn't tell you. That's indeed correct. That's why they basically got overconfident. They got a little too comfortable because this valley has never shown issues. It's a very weird location, right? Strange in the fact that it has too many dungeons and nobody is legally allowed to research it. Why? Because it's my family's property. And it's a place where they send their children to basically have this coming of age test, right? So they cannot risk people hiding in the valley to ambush the children of another family. So the area is off limits. Yeah. Then again, like Ricardo said, it's no longer being guarded correctly. So that's going to be funny. Okay, so here is what I'm going to do. We have a total of 39 maximum depth. So, if I'm making a set of 10, it will not work. we need 50. If I cut it in half and make it a set of 5, you would see the max difficulty at 25 at least. And then it will escalate from there. Should I make it in groups of 2? That's one brutal coming of age ceremony? Yes. The thing is, did I say this or is this a spoiler? Huh. I don't remember. Shit. How do I maintain my ice power? What do you mean? It is just magic, yes. Okay, I want to, like, should I make it like... I do have technically ice powers, but it's not so much that they are like ice powers. It's that I can use magic, right? It's not so much about it being particularly as magic. It's more like I can choose if I can use ice magic or fire magic or whatever the hell. I just mainly prefer ice magic because it really nicely combos with everything else I can do. Yeah, it's something you can learn. Okay, so here is the thing I want to do. Just so you guys also help me. I want to make it like a counter. Basically, you see all the numbers I have over here, right? Let's say I grab this 5 right here, right? So we have a room with 5. That's an awful 5. We have a room with 5, right? And we have these little guys. I wanted to make it like a clock. So we have 5. We put 2 marks, right? 1 mark is 1 goblin of this, right? If we have 2 marks, I just scratch that, and that becomes the next one. But we have more marks, right? So I place 2 more. That will mean 2 goblins of this. But because I can still have more, I put another mark. So that means we can have 2 of this guy, and then 1 extra. So we will have like 1 of these, 2 of these in this room. Does that make sense? Yes? Maybe? No? It makes sense to you? It's a tally, right? So, depending on the number of the room is what number we have. Why choose that way? Because I don't want to think. I don't want to plan encounters. So I'm going to make it like a numeric system to like structure the encounters around this way. What's the value of each goblin? Basically, it's basically a tally mark. So, one way of thinking about it, this guy, the lowest one, is value 1, right? And you need 2 of the guy below to gain 1 of these, right? And you need 2 of the guy below to get 1 of these. And you need 2 of the guy below to get 1 of these, right? So if we have a room with 2, you will get 2 marks, and that would mean we either get 2 goblins, or the smallest ones, or 1 of the next one, right? One, 4, 2, 8, 6, 16. Yes, basically. Does that make sense? Yeah. So for example, here we will have only 1 goblin, right? Because it's a single tally mark. Here we could have 2 goblins or 1 rock goblin. And over here the same, and over here the same, right? That means the deeper you go, the either you get more enemies in quantity, or you get more enemies in quality, right? Does that make sense? That way I can flip between quality and quality, depending on what I want. So that way, that would mean I can grab this guy right here. Right? Ah. And now we have 1 goblin right there, because this is 1, right? And then we can have or stone throwers or 2 goblins, right? So here, because we have a key, I will choose two goblins. Yeah. How is the choice making being done on quality versus quality, premier or small randomizer? Well, it will work like if I made it like a randomizer. Yeah, I could make a program that would say that. But right now I'm deciding based on the contents of the room. So let's see. I want sky. One of these here. And one of these over here. Okay, then we have 3, right? So I can have this guy, right? One of the stone throws, guys, and one goblin over here. One of these guys. Right, that way we are like making the population make sense. Then we have 4. That would be either 2 rock throwers or 4 goblins, or 1 thrower and 2 goblins. So I can grab this guy. And just have one of these guys. And 2 of this. Right. We have a 3 here, so this is either 3 goblins or 1 rock thrower and 1 goblin. Okay, let's make it 1 rock thrower and a goblin. It would be this. You can see yourself kiting around most of these guys. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. Okay, then we have 4. Here, because we are in a smaller space, I'm going to just make it a bunch of these guys. 4 goblins. Actually, I could make this the next level, right? This guy. And here we can have one of these guys. and a regular goblin. Guarding the chest. Let's see. Now we have another 5 over here. So I could make it 2 stone throwers and a goblin. Or 1 stone thrower and 3 goblins. Let's make it 3 goblins. There is a door that opens after all enemies are defeated. I will just run past them. Yeah. Well, this chest, I can make it so it doesn't open until you defeat these guys at least. The fuck are you doing? This thing sometimes becomes a bit weird. There we go. 3 goblins. That level is looking very nice and messy. Think about this. This temple has become a goblin-like layer, right? So it's normal for it to be messy. Yes. Indeed. So we have 6 here. I suppose I can go with 2 strong throwers and 2 goblins. Why is the god of this temple dedicated? A goblin deity, a human deity? Neither. This is a temple that has been taken over by goblins, but is no longer in use. Previously, I suppose you will say it was dedicated to a human deity. Yeah. The hell? What happened to my... Oh. What the hell? That's weird. Okay. Cryptic answer. Eldritch horrors, that's also a good question. It could be edible to some degree. Well, I believe some monsters are edible, yes, in my lore, but not all of them. I suppose it wouldn't kill you. Okay, 7 should be what? Let me correct this real quick, just so I can see the values more easily. Body barrel goblins? Not much. No.
Goblins have green skin, so they can photosynthesize.
That was really funny, actually. I like how you went more with they photosynthesize instead of they hide better along the green, like grass and plants. It's not camouflage, it's it's photosynthesis. Okay, so scores are worth 4.
Maybe the goblins were a superior master race in the past, but has since degraded or cursed.
That could be an interesting lore. Yeah. That indeed would be interesting. It would be an interesting like plot device for like a side quest. How is the lore going to be placed throughout the world levels? Assume she's having it for other games. You see, is that one thing that I don't really like about games is where they just like lore dump on you, right? So I'm only going to bring lore into the picture if it makes sense, right? Like someone who already lives in this world should know what a goblin is. No need to explain it, right? So unless there is like a really good reasons to like lore dump, then I would. Otherwise, I will try to keep it like quiet. Like, have you not like found it very ridiculous when you start seeing like the first episode of an anime and the protagonist is like monologuing in their brain like, I'm Osagi Hiroshime, I'm this many years old, I go to this school, I'm this height, I live in blah blah blah, my father is this. Isn't that like so fucking like unnatural? So I would prefer it if it was like more natural. Yeah. Unless it's like a My Name is Jessica Kira situation. Yeah, if he's like flexing, okay, then I get it. If the guy is flexing, obviously he will be like monologuing. But otherwise, he's like, doesn't really make sense. Yeah, I try to not to do that. Every time I catch myself writing something like that, I'm like, shit, I need to delete this. Yeah. Yeah, I also kind of fall into that kind of error where you like start trying to change the name of everything. Yes, I did fall onto that issue before, indeed. Unless there is a reason for the character to be like overly fancy, then I will like understand it. Yeah. It can also be an insult, like calling an orc an overgrown goblin. Yeah, that would be really nice also, yes. Okay, now this one's over here. We have 216s. I suppose this is already in second half. Also, we have the 14 here. We'll leave 14 empty. 16 we set. So I can introduce the first actual Sword and Shield Goblin. Right there.
Morrowind isn't WoW for outsiders, Swit for stupid, Fetcher for SL at V3 because you go around fetching things for other people.
Yeah, I have noticed that fetch quests are like always like a thing in games, huh? Hmm. $15. $4. $8. $12. And one goblin. Actually, I need a stone and club guy. That way we have 15. Nice! Looking more like a nest of goblins the more we go. What happened there? Right? We're still missing the bottom layer. Ah. How do they breed?
How do they breed? Through
I have
spores like
not.
Warhammer 40k orcs.
I have not gone into that much detail. I'm focusing on other stuff first. Okay, so I believe from 30 onwards, I'm going to have this guy by default. Attack 16. And 16, so we have 32 there. By default, we're going to have one of these guys on every room now. Okay, this is 32, so I can have one rock thrower guy. Okay, let me just commit that. Oof. This is 35, so we will have... I will add 3 goblins, actually, just to add quantity. You weren't kidding about my shopping. It was like everything sucks. Trying to look. Yes. It does indeed. It's very, very bad. If you want one that is working for me so far, the SteelSeries Rival 3 Gen 2 is working fine for me, but it's a wired mouse. It's not wireless, just so you're aware. You bought a Chinese mouse. Well, I'm glad it worked for you. Last time I did that, it stopped working within the month. Didn't ask your phone. You green. Oh. I have not like. Bought that one. Yours is Logitech. I also have one Logitech one. Oh. Oh yeah, there is still that thing active. I kind of forgot. Thank you for reminding me that that thing is still in effect. Very funny. Okay, let's see. So, this is the amount of goblins so far. What do you guys think? Does it look like a nest? Yet. Because I'm not done. This is 34. That is okay. This is missing one. Reminds your hands. This might be a bit of a difficult challenge. Hopefully, because this is supposed to be one of the hardest dungeons. Okay, here I can go down for 2. The one below the spike guy is sword guy. Okay. So that's 32. Uh, $32. The score guy is 4. This one is too much. It would be better over here. We will place 2 of those. Three of those here. That is complete. That is missing 2. Okay. This one is missing 3. Okay. So I'm going to
twirl,
roll. Invest crystals. Okay. Grab this because this is worth 2.
squirrel,
Place this guy over here. This one is missing 3. So I can place this guy also in here. This is complete. This is missing 1. Over here I can place 2 of these guys. So it would be missing 1. Over here we are missing quite a lot. Here we have 32. $34.
Shaw!
I'm missing 1. Shaw! Okay. Let me commit that. And I will grab this guy. So this guy is missing 1, 32, 34, 35. This guy is complete. This is complete. This is missing 1. This one is complete. 4, 8, this is missing 1. Okay. So now I'm missing these 2 rooms and we're good. Sluts. Oh, you actually gain 15 crystals.
Regarding the goblins being degraded form of an ancient master race, it would be interesting if modern goblin art/architecture resembles the style of the ancient ruins.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah. What is that? It's Russian roulette. Yes. Okay, so we have 16, 8. I suppose I can put those words.
Modern scholars would argue that the goblins were merely a slave race made by the ancient ones, and not them.
And not them. These are 8, 16, 2. It would be pretty interesting the way you propose it. Yeah. Oh, I got the crystals, huh? Yeah, you get the crystals watching, basically. Yeah. If you use help or hint, you will see a tip on the top of the stream. But it's a random tip. I'm on 36, if my calculations are correct. So I'm missing 2. That would mean I'm missing a rock throw. Okay. Okay. Okay, this one is done. Now we are just missing this one. So we have 16 plus 8. Yeah, the steal command works exactly like the dog one, but you can die. Let's see. So how about I make this the most complex room here. So you will have to these guys, right? So we have 2. Then we need rock guys. Huh? Oh, you actually succeeded. Wow. You can buy the metal pipe from the shop if you want it. Okay. Okay, we want to of this guy. So that's 4 and 2 son 6. Plus that guy, that is 8, I believe. Yeah, that guy is worth 8. 6, 8. I will grab...
All that you are, and all that you run from, has walked this path before.
You need help with your goods? You mean me? I'm not sure. Hold on. 16, 8. That's 24. And 4 is 28. That's 30. And then we grab these. Right? And that should be 4 more.
Ah, sweet child of Kos,
8.
returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea. Accepting all that there is, and can be.
8, 16, 32... 36, 38. I'm missing 1. Okay. There we go. We are done. This is the locations for the enemies now. Yeah. What do you guys think? Nice, not nice? Maybe? Not really? Weird? Delete it all? And that was floor 1. Looks difficult, should be fun. Let me grab this. No. Your brain starts to shut down partially. Ah. Excuse me. Ouch. Will you be using similar spawn mechanics for enemies on later floors? Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good like. Just like wait for now. Nice. Nice. We are almost done. Don't despair. Thank you. Father bless you. Let's see. We said this was 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Just you adding numbers to the room somehow makes them look cleaner? In what way? What do you mean? Looks solid? Ah, interesting. It makes them look solid. Oh. Okay, so that's gone. Down here, I will focus on quality instead of numbers. What? I think that would be like a nice difference. Your green mouse is around 15. Oh, it's actually quite cheap. I do agree with that. You need 5 buttons? Mine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay, so that's good for those. Now let's go for the next one. Let me just commit this. Let's see. So this has 16, so it doesn't fit here. We need at least 8. So this guy would be from 24 onwards, right here. Yeah. Oh. You can you play hard for to fire abilities and your left hand is full with the jump sprint, blast dance, inventories and pause. I usually just ignore mechanics when it's like that. Okay, the next one would be the 4. So, or 4. Would be existing from 16 plus 4. That would be 20. Right? Yeah, we will have it up to 24. Right? And we won't see it again. 25, 26, 27. So we would see it until... Wait. No, I'm doing things wrong. Hold on. I just realized I fucked up. Okay, good night. As well, I need to undo a bunch of stuff. Hold on. Okay. I mess up the counting. Okay. So here is 17, right? We have 116 guy that is like glorious health for some reason. Why are you like extremely low quality? Okay, 17, right? So actually, maybe I should use the tallies. Hold on, that will be easier. So this will be one tally. This would be two tallies. This would be two tallies and a third. Two tallies and another one. That would be 2 of those plus 1. And right, this would be 3 tallies. This would be 3 tallies and one more. This would be 4 tallies. It would be 4 and one more. This is 5 tallies. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. Next one is 6 of this. This is 6 and 1. This would be 7. It would be 7 and 1. Okay. So this is the tallies we have, right? So this right here needs to become 2. So from now on, these are like marked. These are marked right here. We are combining pairs. We have 2 pairs right here. Okay. And we know this is 1 tally. This is that. This is this. Right? And this would be like that. Right, so we also need groups of 4. That means from here I can connect this. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah. Do you have the base goblin sprites already? No. Not at all. I have not made a single sprite of those. Okay. I'm going to grab this. Grabbing that. And this is going to be on all the rooms with 1 tally. Right? So, right there. But it's basically every other room, now that I think about it. Like that. Right? That's the first one. Then we have this guy that needs to be on all the rooms with this tally. I'm going to just copy this guy. And that would be on these rooms. Not here, not here, here. Then again. Not here, not here, here. Ah. Then again. So it's like twice in a row. Interesting. Maybe I could make like a system like this. I could maybe make a program that handles the enemies. Yeah. So we are done with that. Let's go to the next one. This guy is the 4 mark, so that would be right here. And that means also over here. And over here. And over here. Not here. Not here. Not here. Not here. Here. And then again. Then again. And then one more. It has like a pattern to it, which is interesting. So that's the 4 mark. So now it's just a question about the next one. This guy, the spear guy. The spear guy is only on tallies of 4. Okay, actually. So it would be right there. Right, and from here onwards. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then because I have these rooms that are like empty, they are very easy to like handle. I just grab whatever is on the room that is of equal number, right? And then just bring it over here. We have a 30 here, so I'm just go up. Grab this. Actually, no. Hold on. We know what to say. Right there. Probably you can do this kind of thing in obsidian, no? Huh. Maybe, I don't know. I never actually tried to do that kind of mat in obsidian. Yeah. The best fit is 8 here. Wait. Okay. So best fit of 8. I will place one right there. What the hell happened? So one there, one over here, one over here, one there, one there, one there. Right, then the max fit here is, the highest value is 12. So it will be a better fit of 4 right here.
It's time.
Oh, it's time already? Shit. Okay, let me just finish this really quick. So, the feed of 2. Okay. I hate. This thing doesn't do what I want. Okay, so the next value is 11, which would be these two right here. One second, I can do this really fast. So 11 has to be these guys. Right. And lastly, the last fit for 10 should be just the rock guy. There we go. We're done with this. Hola Spy, bienvenido.
Duck emoji.
Welcome, welcome. Okay, we're done with the design of this dungeon. Nice.
The pencil goblin can draw more goblins.
Pencil goblin can draw more goblins. Like a summoner? That would be funny. Yeah. That would indeed be funny.
Element of surprise! Flashbang.
Again? We're done. We finish with this dungeon. I think I can make it a little bit more interesting, but right now this is the best design we have. Yeah. Okay. Throwing some personal stuff in. Well, this dungeon is meant to be mostly battle, and maybe we'll add like more like downlet like doors, so you cannot like run past stuff. But we will see. Yeah. Okay.
Need any help or you good? All that you are, and all that you
Wow.
run from, has walked this path
Okay.
before. Ah, sweet child of course. Returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea. Accepting all that there is, and can be. Seems nice.
Okay, good night.
It's
Bye-bye.
time.
Adios.
The pencil goblin can draw more goblins.
Okay, good night. Bye-bye. Adios. Let's well. Good night. Bye-bye. Good night. Let's well. Good night. Thank you for coming to the stream. We will continue this on Tuesday. And
Good
now
night everyone.
we will actually implement the things into the game. Indeed. Indeed. We will actually implement stuff. Yes. Yes. This time we will be implementing stuff. Indeed. Indeed. Good night, good night. Bye-bye. Buenas noches. Que descansen. Rest well. Bye-bye. Wow.
Looks difficult, should be fun. My brain is starting to shut down partially. Will you be using similar spawn mechanics for enemies on later floors? Good night Ricardo. I'm still awake for now. Bless you X2. Just you adding numbers to the room somehow makes them look cleaner. Oof, just bought a newer steel series for 120. My soul. Looks solid, somehow. F9 Fate TT Ode 98. I believe my U-Green mouse was around $15. I need 5 buttons minimum. Preferably 8. It has 2 side buttons. My old one had 5 functioning, slightly limiting. I only use 2 mouse buttons the wheel. Games I play have 4 to 5 abilities and my left hand is full with 2 jumps, a sprint, was D2 inventor. Just grow a 3rd arm. At this point I might have to. That's what I've been doing, hence only using 5. I could use up to 9. How many bosses in this temple? Just the large and one, or per floor? I probably need all those extra buttons too once I go back to modding Skyrim. Has challenged at DZVW to a duel for 10 crystal shards. Type duel in chat to accept. Won the duel against at DZVW, winning 10 crystal shards. Fencer emoji. Congrats. That spear looks like a pencil. Thank you, might retire and rest on my laurels. Okay, good night at times 9577. Hand pink waving. Also good night at Ricardo Lucoli. What did you mess up? Lol weird. Good amount of progress. Lots of HS. Do you have base goblin sprites already? 28 looks tough. I don't think she made any goblin sprites. Yes. Sorry Professor, I zoned out. What was the question? Anything but drawing it again. Levels are really getting filled in now. You can probably do this kind of thing in Obsidian. Somehow, I don't know how, but it's probably possible. Or MS Paint. I on the clock, it's time. Really productive once it got going. Duck emoji. Ola, the pencil goblin can draw more goblins. Holm, D, hand pink waving. DZVW played Howl. Smiley face emoji. Gracia, handshake emoji, honeybee emoji. DZVW used surprise alert. DZVW used flashbang alert. Throwing some puzzles and stuff in. Oh. GN fellas. Bye. Good night everyone. Thanks for the stream. Hand pink waving. Hasta mañana, DC. DGDDT.